Welcome to Eat Right by George, the healthy cooking show that shows you healthy can be delicious. And today we're going to have a nice treat. It's the holiday edition of Eat Right by George. I'll be preparing gingerbread cookies, but with a little bit of a healthier twist. Since you know that holidays are full of a lot of things that are sweet and lots of fat and sugar, well, on today's show I'll show you how to kind of cut back a little bit on the fat and sugar so that you're not gaining weight during the holidays. And also the kids can also benefit by having some healthier little treats, since we're just bombarded at the holiday time with so many types of junk food. So we're going to start things off here making our gingerbread cookies, and the ingredients for our healthy gingerbread cookies are 1 egg white, which means you're going to get 2 eggs and separate the egg yolks to make the 1 egg white that we're going to need. And we're also going to need a teaspoon of ginger. So we're going to put a teaspoon of ginger. We are going to need 1½ cups of white flour, 1½ cups of King Arthur whole wheat flour, which I have put in here. I combined 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I also am going to use a few tablespoons of butter, not margarine. I prefer butter because it's more natural to margarine, which sometimes has trans fats and hydrogenated oils in them. So I'm just going to use regular fresh butter, a couple of tablespoons of that. And of course, for gingerbread cookies, you're going to need a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of allspice, a teaspoon of nutmeg, and I also have dry powdered molasses in here in our bowl. So we're going to get things started here, and then I'll add some of the other ingredients as we go along. So first thing, as you've seen in some of the other Eat Right by George episodes, is I separate my eggs. So I have 2 bowls. 1 bowl is for the egg white, 1 bowl for the egg yolk. And you can also use organic eggs if you want it to be even healthier and more wholesome. So we got those separated. And the holidays are such a fun time to be cooking and baking especially. So as you can see, I'm adding my egg yolk here. And then I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of butter to my mixer. Our mixer here is making a little bit of noise. Let's see if we can fix that. Oh. So we're gonna add that there. And then slowly I'm going to start adding our ingredients, which I've sifted all together. And as you know, ginger has many health benefits. Ginger contains antioxidants. It's great for morning sickness. If you have an upset tummy, grate a little bit of ginger into your tea. You can grate ginger on muffins, salads, in so many ways. It's an antioxidant. What I'm using here is ground ginger. You can also get fresh ginger as well, and grate about a teaspoon of fresh ginger into your bowl. What I'm doing here is adding my ingredients gradually. And the reason we do that is because we don't want to add it too fast and we get everything dry, and we want to get a nice consistency to our gingerbread cookie dough. You always have a rubber spatula to scrape your bowl. So I stop every so often here, scraping my bowl. Until all my ingredients are added. It's good to have a measuring cup with you here. And once all the dry ingredients are added to my mix, then I'm going to take the dough out and knead it. So you're going to need a little bit of white flour in a bowl so that you can dust your surface with it in order for you to knead your dough. And then also to dust your hands so that it doesn't stick to your hands as well. And I know a lot of you out there now are baking and making different types of holiday treats, fruit cakes, cheesecakes, gingerbread cookies, gingerbread houses. It's really a fun time. But it's also a time where people do gain weight over the holidays. They say the average person gains almost 9 pounds over the holidays, or close to it. So there's no need for that. If you're making healthier treats during the holidays, you can avoid some of the holiday weight gain. So I almost have all my ingredients added here. Make sure to scrape it down. And some other things, one of the other ingredients I did add to my dry mix was a 3/4 cup of sugar. I have seen recipes where they add prune juice. Instead of sugar, they'll boil prunes or get prune juice and add a little bit of prune juice to gingerbread cookie mix. We're getting there. It is a little bit delicate work making gingerbread cookie dough at first, but once you get it down, then it's really quite easy. We just have a little bit left here in our bowl. It's going to use it up. Scrape it. And we'll let that mix for a few minutes. It's getting there now. Now you want your dough to be firm, not sticky, because if it's sticky, then you're going to have a problem with when it comes time to mix the dough and to knead it. You might have a problem. So what you want to do is make sure that the consistency is firm and not too sticky. So that's why you have the flour, in order to help it keep it from sticking to your hands. And then when you try to use the molds that I'm going to show you, the gingerbread molds, it's going to stick to the molds, and you don't want that. Okay. So after I've mixed my ingredients here, and there's no more dry ingredients stuck to the bottom, then what I would do is scrape the beaters and put them into a bowl and then knead my dough. It does take a little bit of kneading, just like you knead bread. You might be saying, well, you know, I can just buy gingerbread cookies at the store. It's easier. But these gingerbread cookies taste like Grandma used to make. And you'll love the fresh flavor and how good your house will smell while they're baking. There's nothing like fresh gingerbread. It's got that old-fashioned smell. You're smelling the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the allspice. There's nothing like that fresh smell in fresh cookies instead of store-bought. So I'll give you an idea here. I'll take a little bit out. As you can see here, this is pretty workable, as you can see. It's a pretty workable dough. Now another tip that I will give you before you work with the gingerbread cookie dough, of course, as I said, you should take and flour your surface here. You can put some wax paper, flour your surface, and then work the dough like you would bread. And then you can test it out by using some of the molds to see if it's sticky. Another good tip would be to put the gingerbread cookie dough in the cooler or your refrigerator for about 15 minutes to get it firm. So once you've kneaded it and then put it in the cooler and take it out after 15 minutes and roll it out. So I was just getting a rolling pin or even some wax paper and press it down. You have a nice consistency. As you can see, it's not sticky. It's nice and flat. And you want to give it about a ½ inch consistency thickness. So once you have it where it's nice and flat, it's not sticky any longer, then you can get your cookie dough cutters out. And I have been collecting quite a few, especially for the holidays. And I have here a gingerbread one. And the nice thing about it is it's a metal one. They cut a little bit better than the plastic one. So I don't really recommend the plastic ones too much. I really recommend the metal ones. They cut through the dough better. They're sharper. And I like this one because it has a little handle. So all you have to do is press down with the handle and it will cut right through the dough. And what I do is I leave the mold on the dough and then just sort of lift the remainder around it. And there you have it. You got yourself a gingerbread man, as you can see. Then let the fun begin. You start to decorate it. So put that one for decoration on the side there. I have other molds as well. And don't waste the part that you cut off. What you can do is just add it once again. Take your wax paper, press it down. Flatten it out, and you see you're pretty much back to where you started. Now next, you can try an angel. Take a little angel. Once again, it's the metal one, has a little handle there, and you press it down onto your cookie dough. Some are easier than others. This one might be tougher than the gingerbread man. Let's see how it turns out. You can always trim it after. Take your time. And there you have a little angel also. You can add that to our... So once again, take your cookie dough and work with it. This is a fun thing to do with the children, especially when they're off of school for all that time. Put them to work. Get them helping out in the kitchen, because they'll get tired of just doing the same thing every day. They're off for so many days during the holidays. Get them in the kitchen cooking with you and do some fun things that they might enjoy, and they'll always remember this in the holidays. This time I have a little Christmas tree. And same thing. I always kind of work near the end so it's easier end of the instead of pushing it in the middle. Cutting around it here. And then just slowly peel it off. So now we got a little Christmas tree. Getting different decorations. You can always take a little knife and trim it a little bit if you want to make it look more perfect. See, just a little bit of dough goes quite a long ways. It might not look like a lot of dough, but this recipe actually you can make, if you want to make smaller cookies, it makes about a couple dozen smaller little gingerbread cookies. So if you have a smaller mold, you can make quite a few cookies. It might not look like a lot. Let's see. How about a little reindeer? This little reindeer is dashing in the snow. We put that one here. You can probably make a couple dozen of these. This is a real nice mold here. You can see Rudolph leading Santa's sleigh. Let's see here. So it's always a lot of fun making cute little holiday treats. Make sure to have your oven preheated to 350. And gingerbread cookies, they cook pretty fast, so they should be baked within 15 to 20 minutes. They should be ready. After I'm done using up the dough, I'll show you some ways to decorate healthy. Because you know, back in the old days, they didn't have all this junk food. They used kind of what they had available. Here's another reindeer. This might be Dasher. And cut around it. Oh, there we go. Here's another cute little reindeer. Trying to use up all these molds. And I've been collecting these molds for quite some time. So over time, you collect them and have fun with them. Store them in a little container. This is another angel. So as you can see, the dough should be pliable, should be workable. Another fun thing to do with gingerbread cookie dough is